The moon hung low in the sky, casting a pale, eerie glow that illuminated the dense forest of Shenandoah Valley. The crisp, cold air of the late autumn evening nipped at Mia's cheeks as she stepped cautiously along the trail, her boots crunching softly on the blanket of fallen leaves. Clutching her flashlight, the beam cut through the encroaching darkness, revealing snatches of the winding path that seemed to disappear into the dark embrace of ancient trees. Her thoughts circled back to the unnerving conversation with the police officer. "We found the campsite exactly as you described," he had said, his voice laced with a note of bewilderment. "No personal belongings, no signs of anyone living, just an abandoned clearing." The officer's words did little to ease her nerves, instead fueling a storm of questions that had no answers. As Mia walked deeper into the valley, enveloped by towering oaks and whispering pines, the forest seemed to come alive. Each rustle of leaves, each whisper of the wind seemed amplified in the solitude of the night, echoing the haunted entries from JT's journal. The deeper she ventured, the more she felt the landscape transform, the familiar paths twisting into unknown trails under the watchful eyes of the moon. Eventually, she reached the small clearing where the mysterious initials JT were carved into the trunk of an ancient elm. Her heart thudded loudly in her chest as she traced the letters with her fingers, feeling the rough, desperate cuts of the carving knife. The forest around her held its breath, the usual rustling stilled by a heavy, expectant silence. It felt as though the woods themselves mourned JT, clinging to secrets too dark for daylight. The cool wind caressed Mia's face, carrying her name on a soft, sorrowful sigh. The whisper was like a lament, a sound of mourning for the lost hiker whose fate seemed intertwined with the forest itself. With each whispered gust, Mia felt the weight of the unknown pressing in, the buried truths hidden beneath the ancient soil urging her to delve deeper. Compelled by a need for answers, Mia explored the area surrounding the clearing. Her flashlight's beam revealed little more than dense underbrush and the occasional glint of water from a nearby brook. Following the water's gentle flow, she discovered more signs of habitation: a few crushed soda cans, a rusted cooking pot, and a photograph washed out by time and the elements. It showed a figure in a wide-brimmed hat standing beside the very tree with the carved initials, but his face was faded, lost to time. Each clue deepened the mystery, weaving a tighter web of intrigue and unanswered questions. As Mia examined the photograph, the wind picked up, rustling through the trees with increased urgency, as if urging her to delve deeper into the woods. She followed the call, her path marked by a faint trail that seemed newly trodden, winding deeper into the forest than she had ever gone before. The trees thickened around her, their branches interlocking to form a dark canopy that barely allowed the moonlight to penetrate. Hours seemed to pass as Mia navigated the increasingly dense forest. Finally, she emerged into a larger clearing dominated by a towering oak. Its branches sprawled outward like the arms of a giant, and beneath it, half submerged in the forest floor, lay another journal, its cover tattered and worn, bearing the same initials, JT. With trembling hands, Mia opened the journal. The entries were old, the ink faded but still legible. They spoke of the same shadows, the same whispers, and a resolution to embrace the voices of the forest. Unlike the first journal, this one ended with a message of acceptance, an apology to those left behind, and a farewell to the world of man. It was clear now, JT had chosen to disappear, to become one with the silent, watching forest. As this realization settled in, the forest seemed to exhale a long-held breath. The wind carried away the remnants of fear and confusion, leaving behind a poignant peace. Mia understood then that JT had not simply vanished. He had transformed, his essence woven into the very fabric of the Shenandoah Valley. With the first light of dawn breaking through the treetops, Mia left the clearing, feeling a deep, unspoken connection to the woods that had swallowed JT's secrets. The forest was no longer a realm of eerie shadows, but a sanctuary of peace and eternal whispers. She knew she would never return to these trails. Yet, As she lay in bed each night, on the edge of sleep, she would hear it. That whisper, soft and melancholic, calling her name, beckoning her back to the hidden depths of the forest. It was a haunting reminder of her journey into the heart of the Shenandoah Valley, to a place where human footsteps fade into the lore of the land, and secrets live on in the whisper of the wind. Mia's visits to the valley became less frequent, yet the impact of her experiences lingered. She found herself more attuned to the subtle whispers of nature, the unspoken stories carried by the wind. At times, she would pause, close her eyes, and listen intently, almost able to hear the faint echoes of JT's whispers blending with the rustling leaves. The story of JT, interwoven with her own, became a pivotal chapter in Mia's life, a reminder of the thin veil between reality and the mysteries hidden in nature's depths. The journal she had found, now carefully preserved, served as a tangible link to the adventure and the profound truths she had uncovered about belonging and the ephemeral nature of existence. Mia often found herself reflecting on the impermanence of life and the permanence of legacy. Like JT, we all carve our initials, metaphorically, into the trunks of existence, leaving behind marks that, over time, become part of a larger story. In the end, Maya realized that we are all, in our way, chasing shadows, searching for meaning in the echoes of those who walk the paths before us, and in doing so, finding our place in the endless cycle of life and nature. If you enjoyed the mysteries of Chasing Shadows Part 2, like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling tales. Your support keeps the adventure alive. Stay curious and let us know in the comments what secrets might the Shenandoah Valley hide.